Welcome to Horrorland, where nightmares come to life.
Alternative dates. Alter skin of her bones.
Karu Marie O'Donna, Loma Milano Carano.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Shiver Shelf, where today we're going to talk about the 7th and possibly one of the most famous stories in Goosebumps, Night of the Living Dummy. Oh dear. The phrase on the back of Night of the Living Dummy? Introducing Slappy the No. No. No! No! Why? Why with the reprint? No! Okay, look. Yes, the story technically does introduce Slappy the dummy, but he is not the focus of the story. It is another dummy called Mr. Wood. See, if the reprint just had introducing the living dummy, that would be fine with me, because we could still leave it ambiguous. But nope, you just know the ending already, don't you? Alright, well, let's just get to what this story's about. He's made of wood and up to no good. Find out how the evil began in this special collector's edition of the classic thriller that has sold more than 2 million copies worldwide. You know what? Forget this. We're just gonna have to look up the summary in a phone. Okay, the phrase on the back of the original book was, "He's no dummy." Get it? Because he's a ventriloquist dummy. Lindy names the ventriloquist dummy she finds Slappy. Slappy's kind of ugly, but he's a lot of fun. Lindy's having a great time learning to make Slappy move and talk, but Chris is jealous of all the attention her sister is getting. It's no fair. Why does Lindy have all the luck? Chris decides to get a dummy of her own. She'll show Lindy. Then weird things begin to happen. Nasty things. Evil things. No way a dummy can be causing all the trouble. Or is there? The cover is actually pretty creepy now that I think about it. I mean, it's just Slappy in a corner just staring at you with basically a wide-mouthed grin. And his eyes seem to be looking right at you, like he's just watching you the entire time, which is basically what he's doing. From what I understand, a lot of people suspect that's what they wanted the cover to be like. They didn't want Slappy looking at Chris, they wanted Slappy to be looking at the reader, watching them the whole time. And not gonna lie, it's a bit unsettling. And now, to the story. You know, after reading it, Night of the Living Dummy is one of the best stories I have read so far. I mean, I know a lot of people have probably said that, but it's true. Just the eeriness of the dummies and, like, them just staring at Chris all night, it's enough to really unsettle you. However, this story can be a little confusing because it always seems like we don't know whose point of view we're reading the story from. Because sometimes it'll be from Chris's point of view that we're reading the story, and then again there are times where Lindy's point of view comes in, and it just gets really confusing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a little funny considering the beginning of the book says they share everything. So it's really funny that they have to kind of share the book as well. And the thing with Chris, who I think is supposed to be the main character of the story, is that she may not be the most hateable character, but she's not the most likable either. Because once she finally wants to take up ventriloquism, her sister calls her a copycat, which she kind of is. And she just looks at Lindy who's like, no, I'm not being a copycat, I just want to do it because I want to do it. Which is kind of a lie. She gets really jealous that Lindy's getting all of the attention from everybody else. That's literally the only reason she takes up ventriloquism. So like I said, not hateable, but then again, one of the least likable. But the good parts in this story are really good. For example, you never know if it's really the dummies that are doing anything. I mean, when weird stuff starts happening, you're looking around as like, it could be the dummies. But there's no real evidence to show that. And believe it or not, it led to a really good twist in the middle of the story. I mean, Night of the Living Dummy is close to 20, maybe 22 years old, and it still surprised me with the twist in the middle. I was really shocked when I found out who was really doing it. However, when it gets to the point where you definitely know the dummies are up to something, like the tension just builds and builds, and it gets like really intense at points. For example, there's a point in the story where the dummy is actually strangling the family dog. And I'm not saying like, oh, it just seems a bit cartoonish. I mean, like legit strangling the dog. And it's a really intense moment. Like R.L. Stine goes into depth of how it sounds and what it looks like. And you're just reading it and you're just like, please just stop it. Stop it now. It's just, and you realize just how cruel this dummy can be. However, the ending is just satisfying. You're like really glad to get to it and you're just like, yeah, we solved the problem. Thank God, because it could have gotten a lot worse. But the twist in the story is really terrifying. Not the twist in the middle though. The twist in the middle is really good and surprises you. But the twist at the end is what really scares you. It's good because it makes you really scared of what's gonna happen to these girls next. It's uncertain, like you are not sure how they're gonna fix this problem or what. It just seems like there's no way out of it this time. And it makes a lot of sense if you go back and read the story. You're just like, yeah, that's how it happened. Alright, good. Yeah, it makes sense. It's good. So, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to give Night of the Living Dummy a solid 9 out of 10. I mean, true, it does suffer from very small problems, but it does not take away from the story at all. When I was a kid, I never really got what was so terrifying about Night of the Living Dummy, but now that I've read it, I completely understand why people were so terrified of the dummies. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. But wait, what the hell was that? I'll be back. Just wait. Gotta figure out what that was.